Hey, what's going on? So, we're outside the greenhouse today. So I'm going to show you guys how I start a lot of my seeds. Um, Step one, you need some seed starting mix. If you're doing lots of seeds, get big bags. Okay? It's just so much easier. When you get it, they're generally made out of peat. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. All right. Now we're in the greenhouse. Better lighting in here. Plus this way I can get stuff on the floor and I can just clean it up after. All right, so we have our grow cells. Okay. What you want to do is I'm working on a tote here because I can just take this lid and just dump it back in. What you want to do is you just want to take your material, run it back and forth across the tops of your cells. And you don't want to pack it in. You just kind of want to let what falls in fall in. Because remember, you want those little tiny seedlings, when they start growing, to be able to have easy access to all the little tiny air pockets, so that way they can spread their roots easier, right? You don't want them to have to fight to do that. So we just fill it all in like that, get every square. What some people will also do is they will leave one empty without any material in it. And that way when if they decide they want to bottom water, because some people prefer to bottom water these trays, that way you have an open spot where you can just pour your material, you can just put your water right through that one spot and it'll just fill up your bottom tray. I'm not too worried about that. All right, so we got the tray full. Give it a little one of those. And you'll find if you have material that runs between your cells, sometimes the roots will actually grow from one cell into the other, making it a little bit harder to separate plants come planting time, okay? So now you just kind of go through and find any that need a little bit of a top up. Some people will actually use a little tiny board as well and just run a board across the top. I prefer working with my hands, so that's all we're gonna do. Not packing any of that down, just like that. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, and now you need to figure out how many of each plant you want to grow. And then what I do is I generally plant extras. I give some away to friends, some die, some are not overly healthy. So, you don't really want to plant unhealthy plants. You always want to plant the hardiest ones that you're growing into your garden because they're already showing you, right, that you have healthy genetics from that seed. So, see, here we are. I know it's not the best angle, guys. I'm literally out of room here because the greenhouse is just stuffed. So, I apologize. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with some basil. We're going to do Genovese basil and Thai basil. Thai and Genovese. So the seeds for these are fairly small. And how it works is the smaller seed that it is, the shallower you plant it. Like if you guys have ever seen oregano seeds, those things are like the size of little tiny flecks of pepper, okay? And everything you need to know is on the back of your seed pack, okay? So I'm starting everything a little bit early, and that's okay. So I'm going to because these plants are so small, or because these seeds are so small, you're literally just putting a little bit of soil, or a little bit of seed starting mix just right on top of them here. So this is how small basil seeds are. Okay, they are tiny. So we're just going to literally put a couple seeds in each cell. And I'm not worried about really overseeding these because I'll end up thinning them if I have to. So it's really not a problem. So I'm going to do 6 cells of Thai basil. And we just put that back in the pot, in the package. And then, so I use these for plant labels. As you can kind of see by the picture here, these are cut up yogurt containers. And I had a marker somewhere. Anyways, so all I'm gonna do is get out my multi-tool, cut this in half. See, because you're gonna end up putting a dome on here, right? If you stick this in here like that, you see, your dome's not gonna fit on top. But if you cut them in half, like that, see, now I got a half, I can just write Thai basil on that, stick it down in the corner, and I know that this whole row here is going to be Thai basil. If you don't have a multi-tool, grab one. Super handy. I've always been a carry big knife kind of guy, and I'm still a carry big knife kind of guy. But since I started carrying that multi-tool, I've found lots and lots of uses for it. So next we're going to do some Genovese basil. Same process, a couple in each. Might as well use up the last couple in my hand. So now we're just going to give it a little bit of a firming down into the soil, like that. Same up here. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little sprinkle of soil on the top. That's it. And get rid of the chunks, obviously. Chunks are no good. And once you water this in, all this is just going to settle down anyways, right? So just give them a little adjustment like that. And that's it for our basil. I'm just going to put these like this so I remember the order that they're going in. Next we're going to do oh, here's my marker, big fat Sharpie. Just write on it Thai basil. Just like that. Stick it in. And the other one, I'm just going to write G basil because that'll be self-explanatory. Like that. Stick that in. Next we're going to do bunching onions. Tokyo long white bunching onions. When you're growing these things, They're called bunching onions because they like to grow together, right? They like to kind of grow in little clusters. So all you do is take your little dibbler, make a hole in the center like that. Remember, it doesn't have to be deep. These are little seeds. Actually, I'm going to do 2 rows because I really like these things. And they grow easy. And you can succession plant bunching onions all season, right? You can start some new seeds every couple of weeks, and come springtime, you can just put them in soil like this, and you can put them in a windowsill and they'll be just fine. So here's what they look like. Very similar to an onion seed. And so you're going to put a pinch into each hole. 5, 6, 7, whatever. And you know they're going to be growing when they come up because they look like skinny little blades of grass. Just like that. A few in here. A couple in here. There we go. Green onions are planted. And then, like I said before, we're just gonna take one of our plant labels, cut it in half, get the fat Sharpie marker out. Little label like that, and I'm going to stick it here, cover all these up. You can literally just push your seed starting mix just right back on top of it like that. Once you get into the process, it doesn't take long to get hundreds and hundreds of seeds done, right? You just got to be organized at the beginning, figure out where you're going with things. So I'm not going to label this next one because I know that I've got bunching onions here. So the next grouping I start is going to be in here, and I'll just run that tag out. And when I get all this filled, I've got lots of seeds in my hand here. This is what we're starting today. We're starting all this. So once you got all this filled, you put in all of your labels. And you water it all down, and then you got to make sure that you put your dome on top, right? Make sure you put your dome on. That's going to keep them warm and moist, prevent them from drying out, and you'll have much happier seeds with much faster germination. So I'm going to call this video ended here, and I'm going to figure out what I'm starting next, and I'll show you guys where we're going with that. All right, guys, if you're not subscribed here, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can follow along with what we're going to be doing this season. And hit that like button, leave me a comment, share this video out, do all those awesome things, and make sure you're growing good food. All right, see ya.